I remember that before even we met each other, there were some experiences that I have already told you, I guess, right? So,
Yeah.
couple of things that I've told you about, you have told me a couple of things, and I think it makes sense that we also tell it to the audience who watch us.
Yeah.
Um, this is not to spook you or um, to make any assumptions that something exists or doesn't exist, but it's more like sharing the experience which cannot be explained, right?
Yeah.
So that's the main point of it. If you're able to explain, you won't carry it for years and years and years. You would leave it at some point. But until today, some experiences that I've gone through, you have gone through, um, it's different. It's not something that you could explain, right?
Yeah, it's like the first hand experience and not listen through somebody and the exaggeration or something. It's just like you experience it and you keep it with yourself forever. It's just
Right,
there and the feeling doesn't fade away for eternity. So
right,
it's just there.
right.
Yeah.
So we are talking about our experience regarding the supernatural.
Yeah.
We start with the one that was really, really creepy.
Yeah.
Remember what you told about your mom's experience?
Yeah, well, it's not mom's experience, it's grandmother's experience when she was
Okay.
pregnant with my mother. And the story goes this way that they were,
Where did this happen?
this happened in my hometown, Hubli, in Karnataka. And it started where they were in a small place where initially they didn't have any place as washrooms in their house. So it's like you need to walk a few blocks and then there are washrooms. So the thing was that grandmother used to use the washrooms that were a bit away from the house. So
Was it inside or?
no, it is inside, but they were in a kind of colony,
Okay.
and the colony didn't have washrooms attached. So it was not a fashion back then. So the washrooms were kept away from the house because of hygiene or whatever reason. So she had to walk few blocks away, and next to their block there was this graveyard, a Muslim graveyard.
Right.
And but she didn't think much of that. She was just there going and coming back. So once when my mother was born and she was a newborn child and my grandmother was sleeping, there was something that she felt that is coming every a night just to tuck the baby in with the blanket, and it was a cold season, so just tucking the baby in. She thought it is her mother who is doing that to the child.
You mean this happened when she went for the washroom or?
No, this is the backstory that the washroom were near the
Okay.
graveyard.
Okay.
But this has no relevance with the washroom.
Okay.
So the lady was somebody was tucking the baby in, and
So when was this? After she was asleep and she got up in the middle of the night and she
yes, she
observed
was
this, or?
not fully awake because it was a newborn baby, and my grandma was so tired, and she's just. Lucid kind of a state where she doesn't know the proper thing that is happening, but she can just figure out somebody is taking care of her baby.
Okay.
Just vaguely she knows this, and she thought it is her mother who is taking care of the baby, tucking the kid in and all that.
Okay.
So then she woke up next morning and she was telling her mother, why do you wake up so many times in the middle of the night just to tuck the baby in? The baby is warm, you just don't get up
Ah,
and
okay. I
and
forgot this part, correct.
yeah, and just go back to sleep, don't keep waking up, because her mother was also aged.
Right.
And she said, no, I didn't wake up and I didn't tuck the baby in. It's just hardly once I woke up and checked you both were tucked and you were asleep, so I didn't disturb you. And my grandmom didn't think much of it. She just left it. Okay, fine. She might be just saying this just to comfort me.
How long
And
did this happen?
this happened for a week,
Okay.
every night. And then they were thinking that the mother is taking care and all. It was nothing to think of supernatural or something. And after a week, when my grandma was totally in her senses, all bit recovered from the delivery, and she was okay to be awake to feed the child and all that. So when this happened, and she just fell asleep, and somebody again was tucking the child in. When she just opened her eyes, now she was in a senses, she could see a Muslim lady.
Okay.
I don't know if it is.
Oof, I got chills.
Yeah, we don't know if that's actually somebody or something. They had no connection with
I mean,
any
was she
Muslim lady.
completely sleepy when she was
No,
this
but
really
this was
awake or
not awake, but then she was awake to know that it's something else apart from human.
how could she tell that it was a Muslim? Was it
It was covered in burqa. There was no face or nothing. It
like
was
a
just
real image? It was not even translucent or something
no.
like we
It
imagine the ghosts
no
to be,
no. It was total.
like solid.
Yeah,
Okay.
and she thought that she could feel the blankets getting tucked and all that. So she felt that it's her mother. So you can imagine that it's not something that she felt supernatural or something. She felt that it's her mother tucking the baby. But then, when after a week, when she saw this, she could see the Muslim lady with the burqa. She couldn't see the face or anything, and it's just there. And she was so scared. She just closed her eyes and she just went back to sleep.
She didn't check on the baby?
She was just wait. She knew that the baby was safe because now she could relate to the feeling that okay, this was the lady who was doing this all these days. She felt that similarity to the the vibe or the aura being there, that it is
Okay.
that person who is doing this and not her
So
mother.
she somehow felt that it was not harmful.
Yeah, so she felt that okay, it's gonna tuck the baby and then just walk away. Let me just be till there. And she was too scared to just wake up and scream. Then she thought if I do all that, it might hurt the baby. So she was like, okay, let it do whatever it is doing and just leave. And then when once the figure left and she opened her eyes after 5 minutes, nobody was there, and she just took her baby and packed all her things from her mother's home and she left to her husband's place the same night.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so this was one thing. So the relevance of giving the Muslim graveyard being there was, we thought that maybe it's because somebody is there in the graveyard,
Or maybe someone followed your grandma when she was out for a
yeah,
business and
yeah,
then followed her back
yeah.
home, maybe?
Yeah, and they say when women are conceiving, they're pregnant, and they're on your periods or something, they say that the body and the mind is too vulnerable. So maybe that happened during her pregnancy.
Maybe, yeah. I think it's most common belief
Yeah.
that when there's a newborn in the family,
Yeah.
I think I've also told you the newborn experience that we had in the family when my sister had the baby.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, what happened then?
So, I was away from home
Yeah.
for my sister's all this paternal leave and all this baby being born and stuff. I was a bit away from there.
Okay.
He was born. He was born somewhere in October,
Okay.
and I had planned my vacation somewhere in March the following year.
Okay.
So what happened during this years is, so after my sister came back from the hospital, she was at my mom's place, so she was taking care of her obviously, and one day my brother-in-law came to see the baby. I mean, it was a regular thing that he comes every weekend and sees the baby and the mom. One particular day that he came and they had fun with the baby. They were playing with the baby, and my mom was cooking some food. They had food, they had dinner, they went out for a walk, and everyone came back late night.
So your brother-in-law stays away or
Yeah, he
for the
works in
work?
different place.
Okay.
So we were staying in Bangalore then.
Okay.
He used to work somewhere in Coorg, near
Okay.
Coorg. So he was working there and used to come every week. He used to drive every week
Okay.
to Bangalore to see the baby. This particular day when he was sleeping, maybe he was too tired. I could also
Okay.
give that context that he was very tired.
Okay.
He slept and he woke up my sister in the middle of the night.
Okay.
Okay. He didn't say anything. So he just said, okay, I just got up, sleep, it's okay, fine.
Yeah.
The next day, he packed his bag and he left for Coorg.
Why? What happened overnight?
My mom was shocked. My sister was shocked.
Okay.
I called him the same day when my brother-in-law left because I wanted to talk to him.
Okay.
The following day, I called him and I asked, can I talk to him? So my sister said he already left.
Okay.
At this point, it was a bit like a joke, because the way he left was really not a normal way. So he
Okay.
just packed in 20 minutes and he left the house.
Okay.
After this episode, after I called, my sister called my brother-in-law and asked what happened.
Okay.
He didn't say anything. He gave some excuses. He said, "Oh, I forgot something. I came." You know, right? How couples talk. You never
Yeah.
leave until you get a real answer.
Yeah.
So she digged a bit, and then my brother-in-law said that after he slept, he was really sleepy, like he was passed out. When he turned towards, when he put his back to the bed and he slept straight, seeing the ceiling,
Okay.
he felt some pressure on the chest.
Okay.
Like, it's not like when you get a pain or something. The pressure is not like that. Like literal weight on the body.
Okay.
So this is how he explained, by the
Okay.
way. So weight on the body and the neck.
Okay.
So when he opened his eyes and saw, his hands couldn't move anymore. He wanted to, move his hands and see if something is there. He couldn't move his arms. Then he said he kind of passed out from there.
Oh.
And maybe he woke up around 4, 5 in the morning, only to see himself turning on the other side of the bed. And then he got up, had water, and he was waiting to be 6 or 7 in the morning because he was too scared to leave at that point. So then next day, all this happened.
Yeah.
And she called and asked what happened. And this is how he explained that it happened.
Oh, that's creepy.
We were staying kind of a colony back then. It was a railway colony back then. So they were staying there. After this episode, I think 2-3 months, our family stayed there. And after that, we moved to a different house because there were also some minor other experiences. Both my mother and father went through it. So we thought, okay, it's not a good idea to
Oh,
stay
the
there.
one that your mom experienced was a bit much, with the ladies coming and calling her for walking.
It's
Could
a
you
very
tell me a
small
bit?
part of the story, but I think it was a bit of sleep thing.
Okay.
Because usually my mom's friends come and early morning they knock the door and say, okay, would you join us for walking and stuff like that. So I still don't believe it completely.
Okay.
So I don't think it's fair to really talk about it.
Okay.
So, but one information is that after we left the house, we went to hand in the keys to the. Usually, what happens is if you have a railway colony, you have to hand in your keys to the person who's responsible for all this houses and stuff.
Okay.
When my dad went there and gave the keys to hand over it, this person asked, "Why are you leaving so early?" When I say early, usually in a colony, right? If it's a railway colony, they don't leave for years until they get retired. So it was only like 2-3 years. Maybe we stayed there. My father was asked, "Why did you leave so early?" He said, "No, we didn't like it there. The vibe was not really good."
Okay.
So he told that, and the person who took the key said, okay, this is not new for us. Anyone who comes to this house really vacates in 1 or 2 years. This is very common for this house. My dad asked why, and this person who was taking the keys said, there was a person who committed suicide in the same house.
Oh.
So this was repainted again.
Oh.
The news never came out, but it was very, very popular in the community where we stayed. Apparently, we didn't ask any questions. That was a problem.
Oh. So your family was not the only family that experienced this in that place?
We really don't know. We have to just rely on what the person said, who
Okay.
received the keys. We really don't know if that was, or if there was any other families who experienced this. So I really don't know about it.
Okay.
It was really creepy after we heard about it. Yeah, that was something else.
Okay.
Yeah. Even this house, when we stayed there, we always had fights. We were not even happy at that point. There were a lot of troubles in the house. All kinds of trouble, huh? So, normal troubles that a middle class family goes through, it was a bit much for us. We should have realized it way before, Even though I don't believe in it, when I say I don't believe in it, that this causes the pain. But yeah, at some point you have to give it a chance at least, or at least not give chance to the entity or whatever is there to harm us. So I think it was a wise decision that we moved out of the apartment that we stayed. Then
Yeah,
back then.
just like The Conjuring, the Bill Wilkins, this is my house.
I mean, it was not exactly. I mean, there was no direct contact. So that's what I
Yeah.
wanted to say. So we never had a direct contact to some kind of entity.
Okay.
So this is the closest one that we have came across
Okay.
as a family. Um, After this point, I went back to my masters. I did my masters in Germany, so I went back there.
Okay.
After all these episodes, I stayed there for 3-4 months, and then I came back for my masters. So the university that I went in started in 1969 as a university which accommodates disabled people for advanced studies,
Okay.
like any kind of I don't know, master's degree for informatics or something like that. So there were academics who wanted to study, but are disabled. So it started in this way, but I think in 1991 it was changed to, or it was there was another wing that was open where normal people could also. When I say normal, I mean who is normal in this year, in this era. But anyway, so it opened for public as well. So the normal college university started, and I applied for the 2013 batch, and I was there for the 2013 batch.
Okay.
Usually, when you go to these universities, you get DOMs, right? So you have to apply for it, and then you wait for it, and then you get an permit for it, and then you go there, stay in this DOM until you finish your studies. There is one particular wing in this dormitory, or when I say dormitory, it's not just one building, so it's a campus. So there are certain buildings there, I think 2 or 3 buildings which accommodates people there, students there, and I got one of the corner buildings of this campus. The building number, unfortunately, was 13.
Oh,
So
the relevance.
exactly. So I was staying in the 5th floor. I got a very small room in 5th floor, and they were friends. I moved to Germany with my friends as well. So there were a couple of friends who was there in the 4th floor, 6th floor. So we were all distributed. There was one particular day. I don't know if this is linked to something, but I really felt. I mean, I until today I cannot figure out if it was real or was it in my dream. But I'll tell you why I feel like this way. I was really sleepy. I was watching some series. I don't know what I was watching. I don't even remember what I was watching, but it was some series very late night, around 3:30 in the morning. Uh, at this point, or few weeks before, I could not sleep before 4 a.m. So 4, 5, I used to watch something until then and then sleep. Uh, I tried to sleep. You know what I did? Even though I was sleepy at 4 a.m. on a particular day, I didn't sleep that day. I waited and watched TV, serials, episodes, whatever, YouTube and everything. And I waited until it was 8, 9 in the morning and went for the university straight the next day. Even though I was too sleepy and tired and everything, I controlled it because I wanted to get my sleep cycle to sleep in the night and wake up in the morning. It was really messed up. So this was happening since 3-4 weeks now. One particular day I was watching this episodes from YouTube from one of the channels that we follow. You know them already.
Yeah.
Probably it was around 4:30, 4:45 something in the morning. I was sleeping with my blanket. My practice is that I put my blanket all over my shoulder and then tuck it inside and sleep. You know that it's snug tight, so even if something happens to it, it doesn't come out. You try to wake me up sometime and it's
Yeah.
always tight. But at this point, 4:45, I felt like someone pulled my blanket. So
Okay.
let me give you a bit of the design of the room, how it was designed. So you have the main door, you have a sink next to the main door, You just go one or two steps. You have a bed on the left side, and then you have some space on the right side, and then you have a study table at the end of the room. That's it. So it's such a small room. The bed is yay high. You could see, and you could easily get down from the bed. So at 4:45, I felt this tug on my blanket. You know this movie scenes, right? So in the first scene, what they do is they tuck the blanket and the person puts it again and sleeps. The same thing happened. So I did the same thing and I slept because I know that I did it because I'm very conscious about my blanket. So you know it.
Yeah.
So I know that it happened. After a few minutes, or maybe I fell to sleep again. As I said, I was very tired. I don't remember how sleepy or was I awake or fully or not. After 5-10 minutes, this happened again. But this time it was very strong. So it pulled the blanket out of my bed. And there was no blanket because I was trying to get it from my feet and legs. But I could not get it.
Okay.
So then I know that this really happened. But on the contrary, I have to also tell you this. The moment I got up, I felt like maybe I kicked the blanket myself. That's why when I started, I said, I don't know if it's really
Okay.
something supernatural or was it just me who was really tired. What I did after this was, now the thing has happened now, I'm too scared to sleep again
Yeah.
because I'm in doubt that if it's real or did I do it. What I did was I just opened my door, went out. So you have an elevator to go down or go up. And there's also some steps that there's a door that you can open like an emergency exit. But this is easily accessible. So you can use both of them. I
Okay.
didn't wait for the elevator. I just went straight down to the 4th floor, knocked
Okay.
one of my friend's apartment and said, look, this has happened. Can I stay here for this night until morning and then I go back?
Okay.
The next week, I only slept in the afternoons.
Oh my God.
I
It
used to
really
switch on
creeped you
all the
out.
lights, open
Yeah.
my laptop, watch something until morning, eat something in the morning because I'd be hungry, and then sleep in the afternoon. This continued, I don't know, for a month or so. But then I forgot about the incident and then everything fell back to normal. But what I would like to tell you also is to give you a bit of background about this building that stayed.
Okay.
So I told you about this bed, right? So right behind the bed or near the place where you put your head down, there is a small transponder.
Okay.
Okay. As per the story goes,
Okay.
this transponder was used by these people who stayed here before us,
Okay.
like people who are really sick, and they were also treating people, right? So people who are really sick, who are really old, stayed here. So this transponder apparently was used to communicate with the doctors or the nurses who took care of them, to call them basically.
Oh.
It had a switch and also
Okay.
a volume button to turn up and down.
Oh.
So we are friends, right? So after this, I talked about them, what happened. We were
Yeah.
talking about it, and we even made jokes about it that, hey, we are staying in a hospital beds. That's why
Okay.
this happened. But when I think about it now, I think it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So there will always be some kind of energy there, which triggers incidents that doesn't make sense for you
Yeah.
at least. Feels supernatural, but
Yeah.
as I said, it also feels a bit. Maybe it was me who did it. Maybe that's the idea of supernatural, right?
Yeah.
So there is a thin line between what you understand and what you don't. So I just left it at that. I didn't think too much. I moved on from there, and then it was okay.
Yeah. So this brings me to this question that what is more creepy, the things that you can see or the things that you can't see?
I think for me, the best way would be to avoid thinking about it.
Okay.
So when you experience something, I would just say, okay, nothing happened, just move on. Because once you give it a thought that, okay, what is going on now? Because this is not normal. I think you go into that loop, or at least our brains are designed in this way that you go into this loop and then you think about, okay, why did this happen like this? Or is there something that I could do about it? I don't want to think about it. So basically, I will just ignore it to some point where it doesn't harm us or bother us anymore. But apart from that, I don't think I have a. Um, I don't know. I'm not too sure what the answer is, to be honest, because I'm really interested in horror
Yeah.
movies or horror stories. But at the same time, I don't want it to happen to me again because it's too real
Yeah.
for me. So that's where I draw the line. I just ignore if something happens, and I just forget about it, or at least try to forget
Yeah.
about it.
These things usually it keeps happening at, sometime when you're sleepy or you're tired, and, you know, at the side of the eye, or somewhere when
Right,
you're blinking and something just
right.
happens. You're never too sure, but then okay, something is weird, something just is off, and it's weird there. So
Yeah.
then I feel, okay, unseen things, there are things, but okay, let's not
I
think
mean,
about it.
I think out of all stories that you have told me, I think after I met you, I think the most creepiest one is that one thing that happened with your tenant from the place that you stayed in your relative's place.
Oh, the small girl, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this story is something that the whole family witnessed, and it's there with us since.
Was it the place that you stayed or lived, or was it your
No,
vacation
it
house?
was my grandparents' house
Okay.
back in my hometown. So we would visit there during my summer breaks at the school, and usually for holidays and festivals. So once we were there, and this happened when I was not there, but my cousin, my grandparents, everyone was there, and it happened with the tenants. They have the houses below. They stay in first floor, so the tenants are in the ground floor. So there was a family, and there was this lady who had a newborn child. She also has a kid that is about 3 to 4 years old back then when this happened. And there was a newly born baby, and it was a premature baby.
So
And
there were two kids.
two kids, yeah. And the parents were there along. So it is like a family of three adults and two kids. So what happened was, since the baby was premature, the baby was kept in the hospital for a longer duration for it to develop all the organs. Usually they keep the babies in the incubator, as you know. So it was kept in the incubator, and the hospitals were just like, they need to charge money, so they just kept on dragging, keeping the baby there. So the family wanted the baby home. And what happened was, they fought for it. They got the baby home. They just claimed that the hospital is overcharging them for something that's not needed, because usually premature baby, they just, if they are 7 months old and they're out, and usually they keep it for 2 to 3 weeks and then they give it home. So here this was the case, that they kept it for too long week, and they didn't want the baby to be there. So they fought with the hospital and got the kid home. So it was a new infant, and it was sleeping the night when they got it. It was sleeping, everything was okay. The
So
mother.
this is the first day that the baby was home.
Yeah, the first day that the baby was home, it was all good. It was all breathing, everything was normal. Even while discharging, the doctors checked all the vitals. The kid was okay. They just got it home, and the mother was also healthy. She fed the baby, and the baby was asleep, and everything was going normal. And they sleep in the same cot where the mother is there, the 3 4 year old kid, that one is also there, and the small baby is also with them. So,
Okay.
and the grandparents sleep outside in the hall. And what happened was, all of a sudden around 3:30, this time was mentioned by the family. So then the toddler started crying very loudly, and all of a sudden, waking up from her sleep, she started crying and yelling, almost like somebody has hit her or she fell. Or and the mother woke up startled, and she was like, "What happened? And why is the kid crying? What went wrong?" And she
So
didn't.
this is the firstborn.
Yeah, the
Okay.
toddler one, who is 4 years old. So she was all clueless, because even the mother is tired and she's
Correct.
still recovering. She was like, "What went wrong?" And the kid started saying that she was able to talk. She was learning to talk. So she was like, "Look at the window, there's somebody. Look at the window, there's somebody." And the mother, when she checked in the window, the window is just right next to the cot that they were sleeping near their leg, and they could see who's there. And so there was nobody in the window. The kid started crying, and she's unstoppably crying. So the mother was like trying to calm her down. There's nothing, there's nobody. You just dreamt something, it was your nightmare. Just go back to sleep, and all this. And she was putting the toddler to sleep, and she didn't notice the newborn. The newborn is just sleeping. And all of a sudden, she's not consolable, and the kid goes on to say that there's somebody in the window. And she can see that person, but there's nobody in the window. And after this, they somehow gave her some chocolates or something. I don't know what they did. They just put her back to sleep. And then after a while, before the mother sleeps, she went to check the baby that's next to her, the newborn, and it was all cold. And the baby was turned blue. Then she realized that the baby has passed away. It was, I don't know how this all came together. The baby, when the toddler started crying, they didn't pay attention to the baby, that with such crying, yelling, the baby is not crying, or it didn't wake up. So maybe we just thought that what she saw around 3 or 3:30 a.m. in the window was somebody just coming to pick the baby, or we don't know. It's just like, it's creepy. Whenever I hear
That's
this,
actually sad, but
yeah, whenever you hear this story, it's like it just, our souls from within shiver, because it was with the baby. And adults cannot see things, but they say that sometimes kids can see things that we cannot. Maybe she saw something that was there to get the
But I
baby.
remember that you and your cousin, when you went back to your grandma's place again, you spoke with this girl, right?
Yeah, the girl was traumatized. I mean, the toddler who was there, she was traumatized. After this episode, they just got the baby. They took.
What happened to her when you say traumatized?
Yeah,
What happened?
I'll say that after that night, the baby was buried, and this toddler was so excited that she's gonna get a baby sister, and that was a female baby. So she was very excited that she'll have a sister to play along, because she herself is a kid, and she was just waiting for that moment to be with her. And all of a sudden, that she knows it's no more, and they just told that okay, the baby just went, and she didn't know where or what happened. And as the days passed on, after a few months or something, even her
But
grandfather.
at this point, I just want to ask you one question. Do you think the reason for the baby being dead could also be that they got the baby very soon from the hospital, even though the doctors wanted to observe the baby for a few more
Probably,
days?
yeah. Probably, yeah. Because we don't know what went wrong with the kid, because it was just cold and bluish, and maybe it was not able to breathe, or we don't know what happened. And probably, yes, one of the reasons that it could have been in the incubator to develop the organs more. We don't know, but somehow this happened. And the this story turning into supernatural or something else was totally unexpected, because the kid seeing the thing in the window was, and waking up at that time, which is apparently said to be the time of the evil or demon or whatever, midnight, 3 o'clock. So that kind of turns it creepier, where adults can add things to the story or exaggerate or something, but when it comes from a kid, it
I
is
mean,
true.
it could be a natural death, but
Yeah,
when you tie this incident of the sister being awake at the same point, or
yeah,
we don't know when she was dead, right? We don't know when the baby was dead,
yeah,
but uh, when she was awake and she was crying, that brings a question: what really? How do
yeah,
you perceive the situation,
yeah.
or how do you understand it?
Because we don't know, we were not there, but we also don't know when the baby passed away. For the baby to pass away and become cold, it takes some time for the body to completely run cold and blue. But what happened at 3, was weird because we don't know if the baby's soul was still there and something just came to. I don't know. It was just very, you know, sad and also goosebumps kind of moment when I
Yeah,
heard this.
that's true.
Yeah, and after a few months, the grandfather who was there, he passed away by heart attack, and this toddler who was there, she was a bit growing in her age, and she had all these things into her mind that whoever I love more passes away, and they
That's
move
so
away
sad.
from me. So this traumatized her in a way that she became dull and she was not like a kid, like cheerful, playful kid. I have been her, and she used to be my favorite playing around. My cousin and me were always around her, playing with her during our summer breaks. So she was no
I think
longer the
also your
kid,
cousin took care of the baby
the
or the
baby.
first sister
Yeah.
when she was
Even
born,
this
right?
toddler was a premature baby, and her health was also very delicate, but then they took care of her and they fed her good, and the baby was very healthy, and then she grew up healthy as well. So, but unfortunately it went wrong with the second one. But the first baby, I mean this toddler, she was always so joyous, so cheerful, like kids who do all naughty stuffs, run around. After this episode, she was no longer the same,
Okay.
which you know hurt us from within to see the girl like that, and that's very sad.
True.
And after her grandpa passed away, she was way more into that thing that how people get away from me. Whoever I like, they go away from me. And she was into all these thoughts. So, just to get the kid back to her normal stage, they had to adopt another girl. And then the girl was little normal, taking care of the new sister, and you know she takes care of that girl like it's her own child, like brushing her hair, putting rubber bands,
Right.
playing with her, helping her with the homeworks, and she's just like so attached to her. And all these days with this episode, she missed out on all that, and she was traumatized because of that, is what we felt.
I would like to take one step back. I asked that what happened when you and your cousin went to talk to her after this episode.
So when me and my sister, we spoke to her after a few days. We let all this cool down and get back to her normal stage. So we just waited until then, and we slowly started asking her, "Why did you cry? What happened?" And we started asking, and then the girl was like, "I don't know. There was somebody in the window. There was somebody with long black thing standing." She couldn't explain what it is because she was too small. She was just learning how to talk, and she was like, "I don't know. There's somebody with black thing standing in the window." I told
That's creepy.
Mama, "Yeah, black thing. I don't know what we need to imagine with that." But I told Mama, but Mama said there's nobody in the window. So this was all the kid could say, and she was terrified when she was explaining there was some black thing standing, and she did the hand like this. There was some black thing standing in the window. So we don't know, but what she saw was, I don't know, if it was human that she could recognize, who is neighbors or
I mean, who
anybody.
would be peeking in a window at 3 a.m. in the morning?
Yeah, okay, just to rule out the possibilities of humans. The whole colony knew her, and she knew everybody around. She used to go to everybody's house, play around with everyone. So it should have been somebody who she doesn't recognize, or if it was a person, her mother could have seen the person in the window. But even when she's screaming that the person is there, the mother couldn't see, and she's still like, "No, the person is there.
Right.
I can see him." So it's not a thief who is there or he runs away. This kid can still see him standing there while the mother cannot. And all she could explain was there was something black standing, and mama couldn't see it. So That was
That's really
creepy.
creepy and sad.
Yeah.
Do you still talk to this person now?
No, once I moved out from the place, so there was no contact. But my cousin and my family, they're still in touch.
Is she
They,
doing okay now?
yeah, she's doing okay now. Now she has a sister and they're doing good.
Okay. Good for her.
Yeah.
Right. I think this brings to end of our episode for today.
You actually forgot the Goa one.
Ah, right.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
I think
that
it was a
one.
very small incident.
Yeah. But then we were all creeped out.
Okay, let's go for another story. Go for
Yeah.
it.
Okay. This was we couldn't just chill out in Goa and we wanted to visit some horror places or something like that. So we searched for the Borum Bridge, the
Yeah.
apparently so-called haunted bridge. I don't know. But this story goes like this that there was some lady, the Borum Bridge, if you see, there's a bridge that the half part of bridge is broken and only the half part is still there. So when the story goes this way that some lady just crossed the bridge and committed suicide there,
Okay.
and during new moons or no moon day that there people see, I mean full moon day, the people who visit the bridge, they can see this lady running and jumping into the water.
So it's like a recorded episode that happens again and again and again.
Yeah, it's like the episode happened someday, and when people visit there, it happens again in front of them,
Okay.
as though they feel that it is real and somebody just committed suicide. So how we know is it's all over internet that there are a group of friends who visited this bridge on a full moon day. They were sitting on the bridge, they were drinking because it is so secluded and abandoned area that people don't visit there. So these group of boys, they were there drinking and partying, and they could see a lady in white dress cross the bridge and jump into the water. But when they thought it is real that somebody just jumped, and then they hurried just to see that there's water beneath the bridge. So they thought that somebody jumped and they just rushed to see what it is. And they couldn't see any ripple or any sound of anybody falling or anything. So the story is this. And when we visited along with our cousin, we visited there, and it was just three of us. And my cousin was sitting in the back of the car, and she was sitting behind me. And she got down. We visited the bridge just to see how it is or what places it is. And she got down from the car from the left because she's sitting here behind my seat. She got on from the left. And they say that when these boys, back to the story then, when these boys, after seeing that somebody jumped there, they thought there's nobody. It was just something that they saw, and they started heading back home. And while heading back home, they could feel somebody sitting in the car seat behind them in the mirror, the rearview mirror.
Okay.
And then there were like three boys, and the boy who was sitting behind thought that the lady is sitting next to him, and he could see it there. And the friends also told that somebody's sitting next to you, and he was all he got fever, his eyes were red, and all these things happened to the boy. And they say that the lady follows you
Okay.
in your car or whatever. If you go and check for her, if somebody has jumped, the lady follows you.
Right.
So what happened was my cousin got down from the car from the left, and we just went. And now I don't know that there
I
is
think I parked the car not on the road, but so at some point the road is broken, right? So when it goes, as you go near to the bridge, the road is like really broken.
Yeah.
Then you have some gravel, and then you have nothing.
Yeah.
So the bridge starts, but it's closed now, right?
Yeah.
So I parked it on the very right
Yeah.
corner of the road, right next to the beginning of the bridge.
Yeah.
Remember? And there was some leaves and plants. There was a small tree that came rested on the roof, and we parked the
Yeah.
car. So
Right.
just to give you a bit of context
Yeah.
on
So there was no place to get on from this side, so she got on from this side. And after this, what happened? Even because of all these stories, even the Goa government has built a wall so that people don't go across the bridge or just peep into the river or lake, whatever is beneath it. So there is fencing. It's all protected now. There's fencing. People don't go there. So we were all curious why these steps are taken by the government instead of just demolishing the bridge or reconstructing or whatever. We were like curious, so we just went, we saw, we checked the place, we around the fences, but we couldn't cross the wall, of course. So after this, we just came back to the car, we sat, but then the car was not locking or starting, right? Because the door was open. One of the door was open.
Correct. So again, a bit of background. I
Yeah.
think we had an espresso back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens is when you don't close all the four doors, the ignition, you can turn on the ignition, but you cannot start the car.
Start it.
So unless you close the door.
Yeah.
So
So we all opened the doors where we were sitting and we closed the door again. Even my cousin in the back, she opened the door from where she got down and she closed the door again.
right.
So we're like, okay, we closed all the door. Why is it showing still the door is open, the door is open? So then we were like, then you said to check the other
side
door,
of the door.
other side. So she checked and it was open and she closed it again. For a minute, we were all silent, thinking who opened the door from that side because we researched all these stories and we knew that something's gonna follow in the car and all these stories that we didn't really believe it. In the first place, if that door was open, how did the car drive until there without any indication? So the door was closed when we got to the place, and while coming back, somehow it was open. We don't know if it's a coincidence or we don't know
That
what
is the
to
reason
make
I
of
gave you the background of how we parked the car.
it. Yeah.
Because it was at the right edge of the car.
Yeah.
The passenger side, I think it was covered with this tree which had branches fallen down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually didn't make sense how the door was open, but as I said in the beginning of the episode, we have to ignore few things
Yeah.
and then forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny now, but back then, knowing this backstory of that bridge, we were creeped out that, okay, could have opened our door? Because even when she tried to open and close the door, there were branches that scratched the car door from the outside because it was so tightly packed that you cannot open the door there. But yeah, that's what made it more creepier.
True. So, listening to all the stories, what do you think? I mean, we speak about horror stories, horror movies very frequently, right?
Yeah.
So, at some point, I believe that we both enjoy the story, mostly the suspense in it,
Yeah.
rather than what is the outcome. So, my question to you is, do you enjoy not knowing it, or what is it that draws you to this kind of stories?
Well, stories, for example, these movies or anything that we see on TV is not how the actual things takes place
Do you
or how we
feel-
experience it.
Do you feel it's a bit exaggerated?
Yes, I feel it might be based on true stories or something, but just to keep the audience hooked up, of course, they'll have to show things just for us to understand how it went on or something, because it cannot be like just a feeling or something. They'll have to show certain characters that, okay, this is the spirit and this is how it was, or they have to build that. But when you experience that in real life, it's not like that. It might just be like a small, sensation or small experience that it's not too much like hyped up or something. For example, I can tell you this. We were living in Bangalore in an apartment, and it was late night. And when there is this IPL season going on, the
Right.
Domino's delivers the pizzas around until 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. I'm not sure. So my mom and I were like, okay, let's order pizza and we'll eat. We were watching movie. So we were like, okay, let's order. It was raining. So we knew that the pizza is going to be late because it's raining. So we ordered it and the pizza guy was there and my mom was like, okay, go collect the pizza. We were staying in second floor and it was all dark because it's raining and there was power cut. So I had to use my phone torch and get down the stairs. When I got down the stairs, at the first landing of the stairs, I'm just turning just to go down another floor and I could just hear somebody saying,
Wow.
and the voice just went from behind me in front of me like this, near my ear. And it was so, I'm awake. I was not sleeping or something. I am awake as a day, and I don't know. It's so clear in my ear. I couldn't have mistaken it for anything else.
Was the lights on in the...
No, there was power cut.
Okay.
It's raining heavily and there was power cut. So there's nothing. I'm using my the
phone.
torch from my phone and I'm just getting down because there was rainwater on the stairs because there's ventilation windows, so the rainwater stay there on the floor. And I was holding my torch going down carefully and this sound just came from behind me. And I cannot forget the way it came out because it was something. Nobody is there. It's just me going down. So I don't know what to make out of it. I
Yeah.
just
I
went.
think you called me right after that, right? To tell me
Yeah,
that this happened
yeah.
now.
I couldn't explain or I couldn't just stop there or run back. I just turned the circulation to my brain was cut off and I just went dead down, collected the pizza and just ran back home telling my mom, okay, this is what happened. And then I called you up also after that, saying this is what happened. And I was so scared, I just had to sit down for a while, not having the pizza. I had to calm down for a while and then explain what happened. So this is one thing. It's so simple.
Right.
I didn't see any spirit or any form or shape in front of me. It's just that word in that situation.
I think at the end you have to be curious,
Yeah.
but you shouldn't cross that small line,
Yeah.
a thin line between experiencing things and going to find it.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I think you should draw the line there, at least for me personally. There are some things that you need to ignore.
Yeah.
If you're really scared, I think you have to ignore it. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah. These are the, experiences that we had and not somewhere.
I think we have told the story to all our friends, right?
Yeah.
So especially when we have a gathering, we
Yeah.
have told the stories.
Yeah.
Probably when they see it, they will know. They can
Yeah.
know small details that we missed out from our stories. So
Yeah.
I hope you like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, this brings to our end of the episode. Thank you so much for explaining
you.
all the stories that I already know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we have a much interesting series for the next episode. See you all there. Thank you. Bye bye.